Hey guys, Mike here with another episode of Firearms with Mike. And today I shot the Freedom match at Woburn Sportsmen's Association. And we're going to start here with the low light stage. I am in Squad 5, so we start off Area 5 here with the low light. You can see we got all kinds of crazy laser show stuff going on. I believe the name of this stage was the Rocket's Red Glare. We got 3 targets that we engage in tactical sequence, and then move to position 2 here, and then from cover, engage additional targets. You can see here, there's actually 2 movers. One of them is a disappearing target. It's behind that non-threat to the left. Most of us did not get to that point in time to be able to engage that target. It moved very quick. I believe it was 6 seconds delay and an 8 second delay from when you step off from the platform. So on the other targets that I did hit, I did pretty well. You'll see that when I do the scoring here, I without thinking about it, turned off the camera, and then I remembered to turn it back on here when we were scoring. But I did okay on this stage. I think I was shooting a little low on the 2 targets on the left. Here on the first string. What I decided to do was I wanted to dump all my ammunition on the first section here, and then I did a slide lock reload while moving to point 2, which according to the new rule book you can do. You cannot do a tactical reload on this stage before moving to point 2 because you are out in the open. You can only perform a tactical reload when you are behind cover. So that was a point of conversation for most of us. This was my worst stage because I was stupid. You'll see here we have 2 disappearing targets. There was a little argument at the beginning whether those should be considered disappearing targets or not. Here's my mistake. Notice anything funny about that magazine that I put in? It is empty. Oh, so that is lots of spent time trying to fuss with that, figure out what was going on. I'm looking for the magazine. Oh shit, it was an empty magazine. Okay, put in a fresh magazine. So that's a procedural error for not loading magazines to division capacity. So that was just me being really stupid, not checking my magazines, making sure that they were all loaded. You can see here I had to go for a spare mag that I was keeping in my pocket. It's my dumpy mag that I don't like. I tweaked my back doing something like that. My back was killing me for the rest of the day. So that was just stupid. And I missed the scoring section because I turned off. So here we go. We got 2 more disappearing targets. Lots of disappearing targets on his first 3. This one was a little rough. I didn't get any shots to land on either of those disappearing targets, and looking back, well, immediately after I did it, I realized it was because I was not looking at my front sight. I was looking at the targets. I was watching them move. I was not looking at my front sight. That is why I missed. If you're not looking at your front sight, you don't have a proper sight picture, then you're not going to have any accuracy. So after this stage is when I, went into my internal mantra, focus on my front sight, focus on my front sight. And you'll see on the next 2 stages that it really pays off. I think I did decently on these targets here. No hits on the non-threats on this one. On the very first stage, which was the low light, there was controversy over one of them. At first they said no, and then they said yes, and then I think they decided that it was a shot that hadn't been taped up previously because of where my shots were on target. So this was a fun stage. We run over from shaving, and then we do Mozambique drill on all these targets. There's 2 up close, 2 in the middle, and 2 far away. So I had to move over there because you see the cones. Those are the basically the muzzle lines out of bounds. So the rule for the day was if you hit the concrete walls, then you are automatically DQ'd. So we needed to do some shuffles here and there to make sure that we did not hit the cement wall with any rounds. I kind of lost track of my round count on this one because I was watching where my shots landed. I was doing makeup shots. I ended up being down 1 for this entire stage, so I'm not sure if the extra time really made up for it because I think I was upwards of 49 seconds or 40-something seconds for this stage. So, I mean, the thing that you have to wrestle with is, you can do makeup shots, but I ended up not doing one at the end because if you're down 1, that gets divided by 2, so I'm down half a second that's half a second that gets added to my overall time. So you need to think about how much time is it going to take for you to do those makeup shots versus, you know, how much of those shots actually penalizing you for. Yeah, if you're in the down 3, that's a second and a half. If you can fire off a quick makeup, it's worth it. But in the long run, it may not, you know, if it's just a down 1 here and there. So this, I made another stupid mistake, which ended up costing me some time. So you'll see that I end up bypassing a target. And I get really confused at the end here because I know that there's 9 rounds, I'm loaded to 9, and I do the mag change. And here I realize, shit, there is a round in the chamber. I dropped a mag. I was supposed to retain that. That is a procedural error because technically I should have done a tactical reload for that and held on to the magazine. So I went back through, you know, it took me a couple seconds to realize what had gone wrong. But what didn't really click was that I had missed the target. And the SO is going to tell me here in a second, you know, you got a procedural for shooting out of order because I had bypassed the target. And then later, you'll hear me or see me at the end, I tell them, well, I also had a procedural error for not retaining the magazine on the reload. So I ended up, I think, with 2 down 5s. With the closest, on the 2 of the closest targets, I missed a headshot on each of them. And I got, I think, a down 1 on one of the targets in the back, maybe 2. The rest were down 0. So, I mean, I shot pretty well. It's just that I missed a couple shots up close. One of them because I bypassed one by accident and wasn't keeping track. But, you know, focusing on that front sight really helped me out on these last 2 stages. So, all in all, it was a really fun match. I had a great time. It was a little bit, I think it was usually the matches we do are 6 stages. This was 5, so we could finish up a little bit earlier so everyone could go out and do their 4th of July plans. You know, I'm going out to do barbecue later and have some fun. But I had a couple friends come down and shoot their first match with me, which was great. Lots of familiar faces at the club today. Shout out to John for getting the club started at Woburn, for running all those practices, getting me into the sport, helping me out. And for putting together the match today. All these matches, all these stages were his design. And also thanks to to his assistant and to all the SOs who put together the match and made sure everyone was safe, made sure we didn't have any accidents. And yeah, it was a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely come out and check out Woburn. We have practices every 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month. See you then.